Hi there, Matt Thomas from News Radio 1080 KRLD, and on this week's Eye on Technology, brought to you by the Dallas law firm Monk Wilson Mandela, we're talking with Jordan Williams, the founder and CEO at Captured Dimensions. First of all, give us an idea of what you guys are doing. It's pretty fascinating.
Yeah, so at Captured Dimensions, we're basically pioneering technologies for digitizing reality, scanning objects around us, people and objects in the day-to-day world, and bringing them into the digital realm so they can be used compellingly. We just recently launched our Photosculpt store in Frisco. It's a 3D photography studio. It's a scan array where we have 80 plus DSLRs set up in an array. It fully surrounds a person, and we shoot all of those cameras at exactly the same time, and it gives us a couple gigapixels of surround data of a person. And essentially then we're able to take all of that information and find all the points of commonality between those images, turn them into a dense 3D model.
Like what we have here, so.
Yeah, so once you get it in digital form, there's a lot you can do with it. So what we're doing primarily at the store at this point is 3D printing people in full color. So this is a sandstone print. It's printed layer by layer, it's produced. So we have something in digital form, and just like digital photography, it allows you to do a lot of really interesting things with it and break it down into different ways using different tools. We have all the same tool sets, but in 3D.
I can imagine that there's a lot of interest in this because, years ago you took pictures, you had to get them developed, and there was, some novelty involved there. And so this novelty would seem that, there's probably a lot of demand for it.
Yeah, I think we've really gotten to the point where the ubiquity of digital photography, the fact that everybody has a camera in their pocket and snapping something all the time, it sort of tends to devalue the medium in general because we're so inundated with that type of content all the time. People post 50 pictures of their cat and their kids on Instagram every day. It doesn't have the same impact that a really good family portrait used to, and people used to really think about that and prepare for that. We're wanting to bring that idea of family portraiture back into relevance and make it something where people can come in and really think about it and get a really good result that's going to last and have some impact in their lives.
The people who have come, I'm sure most of them haven't really seen anything like this before, and so talk a little bit about their reactions and how it's been received.
Yeah, so far people have really loved it. They've come in, and we've already had people come back repeatedly, bringing different family members. And the beauty is, once we get it in digital form, we can replicate it as many times as necessary. So, of course, we've had people come in with their kids, and they get a nice little print of themselves, and then a week later they come back and they want reprints of that so they can send them to the grandparents and that kind of thing. We've actually had success scanning pets now, dogs and cats. Cats are a little difficult. They like to kind of run away, but if you can contain them for a little bit, we can get some good data there and get good scans. But children, babies, we've had a lot of really interesting success stories so far, and some really cool stories as well. Things like we had a military service member recently that was being deployed overseas. He's going over there for a couple of years, and he came in to get a scan of himself and was able to provide this little statuette, a figurine of him to leave behind with his kids while he's overseas. And then he's going to do the same thing with his kids, scan them, and then have a little version of them with him.
Very cool. What have we left out? I know you guys are working on a lot of things.
Yeah, in general, the biggest challenge for us right now with the Photosculpt store is just the lack of general awareness. People are still, they're still finding out about 3D printing to begin with.
Well, I'm not sure what it is, yeah.
Yeah, so 3D printing it's additive manufacturing. It's the process of taking a digital object, breaking it down into a bunch of layers. So you can lay down plastic in a tiny layer, and then you move up 1/10 of a millimeter or whatever and lay down another layer, doing that rinse and repeat a couple thousand times, and you've got an object. So there are a lot of really interesting and compelling uses for that are just coming to light, but the whole industry is going to really radically change the way we create objects in the future.
More Eye on Technology segments at cbsdfw.com/Eye on Technology, and be sure to listen to Eye on Technology on News Radio 1080 KRLD every Tuesday at 1:10 and 5:50.